Yeah,
Ready for the cut?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. It's a great day. Great day to get a cut. Cut in a conversation. Cut in a conversation. You know, get off the 9 to 5 and go get a cut. Gotta chop it over with nigga Chris.
I ain't know if I was supposed to put on my Sunday's best. Man.
It's my man Harris. Smells great. Bro. Chris,
Yes, sir.
it's good, man.
And another day, another dollar.
Same old, same old. Shit never changes.
Cutting paste, trying to get paid.
With the bars, the subtle bars. Man, well, my thing is, I guess like my question, like, cause we always come in here and we chat it up and whatnot, but you know, when I ask, you know, my niggas like how they living, it's always interesting. Just because, you know, I feel like everybody gives you the general answer, like, yeah, I'm good, you know. So I it kind of had a thought, like I was pondering on the thought of like, what's the difference between survival and living? Like, you know, how do you differentiate between the two? Because I think a lot of people are just surviving, you know. And then there's some people out here like living. So I mean, I was kind of struggling with the definition of it, but I would love to hear your take on it because I know you're gonna break it down a little more.
Well, technically, I don't think you can survive. I mean, you can live while trying to survive. Because if you're trying to survive, that means you're constantly looking over your shoulder. You're constantly worrying about
Right.
what the next person is trying to do to stop you, block you.
Right.
But I think like when you get to that point where you're gonna live regardless, because you already know that people are already out here trying to stop you, or the system is designed to trip you up. So I think once you just got your mind made up, you know what you want to do, you can live to the fullest because you already know the pros and cons. You're gonna make mistakes, but nah, man, you can't be bound by the survival mentality.
Right. Well, you know, like I guess my take on it is like surviving is more so coming from the aspect of a lot of people aren't in conducive situations, you know, so they got to do, I mean, paycheck to paycheck or however you may see it, like you said, looking over your shoulder. You know, I don't know, like I feel like when I think of living, I think of people that are very comfortable. I don't think a lot of people are comfortable in life, so I guess that's where the conversation for me takes a left, because I feel like some people are actually out here comfortable. They got ends to do what they want and to do what, you know, almost like luxury. Like, so, you know, of course what you need, what you want, and then there's some shit that you just do just because. But then I feel like the majority is out here just trying to make, you know, ends meet. So I guess that's where my survival comment comes from, because I just feel like a lot of people in situations that aren't really conducive to like the way they want to live.
So how many people are actually out here living then?
Right, exactly. Like, I mean, and not even enjoying it, honestly, because like I feel like you can definitely be living or surviving and enjoying yourself, but I feel like you don't really get to focus on like self-happiness. It's a lot of like, I gotta do this in order to, you know, just get to the next day or get to the next week. So, you know, I mean, I'm not really sure how it could change, honestly, because I think a lot of people are in situations that it's going to be harder for them to get out of, you know, than what actually got them in it. And when I say that, I mean like product of environment, or just the fact that a lot of people aren't able to, you know, educate themselves and figure out like I could do a lot better if I just put myself in, you know, these positions. So now they kind of stuck, and now you're trying to make shit meet for the rest of your life, you know? Like, I feel like everybody at one point, you in a point where it's like, all right, cool, like, I gotta make shit meet, you know, ends meet, I gotta do what I gotta do. But you don't wanna be stuck in that place forever. And I guess that's what I feel like is going on out here. Especially on, you know, social media. I just think people be like, it's a lot of false advertising going on.
Oh, yes.
You know, like when you see a picture and you see somebody's location, you automatically assume they're there, but more than likely they took this trip months ago.
That's what Drake said. you out here reposting pictures that you done did months ago. Come on now, stop faking.
And that's the issue. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't really, and that, my thing with that is, I think it's like you want to be living, but you know deep down inside you really just surviving. Because when you living, you doing things like that. You taking trips without even thinking about it. You know what I mean? And I think when you're surviving, you just feel as though it's harder to do the things that you want to do. You compare what you need to do to get to the next day, and then compare what you want to do. So that's where I believe, you know, surviving and living kind of, you know, separate themselves a little bit.
You know, the one thing that messes everybody up is when somebody else has done it before you. Like, you can survive, like you said before, about your living conditions. Like, you don't choose where you're born. You know what I'm saying? But when there's somebody else that came before you that had the same situation, same circumstances, and they made it out, why can't you follow the blueprint? Now, you might not be a basketball player, or you may not be a tech dude, but I think the formula is the same. Like, you work hard. You have financial literacy. You know what I'm saying? You know you can't make it out of this situation and just spending money and not having any kind of accountability for self. So I'm not the dude that's going to tell you, hey, you know, I'm not going to encourage the victim mentality. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do. I'm not telling you, when I say do what you got to do, that means do anything by stealing, you know what I'm saying, selling drugs to your mom, to your cousin. You have to do something that's going to be a little bit more productive, and it's going to result in what you're looking for. So
I think you touched on good points there, because like I feel like a lot of people get in situations where it's like, you know, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to make it to the next day. So it's like, if I gotta take somebody's life, take somebody's car, steal somebody's, you know, belongings, you're gonna do what you gotta do. But see, and then that kind of transitions for me, like, so I know me and you have talked about hoarding money, right? You know, so I think that for me is a big topic, because you got a lot of people with multi-millions, you got some people with billions, you got people, you know, some people with just hundreds and hundreds of thousands. So does hoarding money become, do you think that's a thing?
Oh, yes, sir. I mean, that right there triggers the survival mode. Like, even when you have a lot of money, it's a catch-22, because you're worried about what other people are thinking. You're worried about people trying to get you. And then if you're hoarding it, you're blocking the people that you're trying to save yourself from being able to accumulate, so they don't have to come at you. So it's like you're putting yourself in a box where the outcome is going to be exactly what you fear. And if you don't let go of that money, so that thing can be spread around, then you're always gonna be looking over your shoulder. You're always gonna try to go into your gated community, and then you got to worry about the purge kids that's gonna come at your door trying to get you, because this whole time you've been bragging about how much money you've had, but you've been hoarding it all. And it's like, dang, you got $1 trillion, $1 billion, but you're driving past a person that doesn't have anything. And then you're expecting them to not do anything to you? Nah. I'm sure the thing on their mind is, man, I gotta get them for what they got, because they just driving right past me. You ain't trying to bless me with nothing. It's not really something to brag about in my eyes. So
is it greed at that point?
Oh yeah, man, it's greed, it's insecurities. Like, why are you really holding on to all that money? What's the purpose of holding on to a lot of money? You're supposed to plant them seeds and let that thing multiply. Once you produce a tree that's gonna have fruit.
Does it become about power though? Like, so are you only like, because like once you've got enough money to consider yourself a hoarder, you know, at that point it's like, am I just money hungry and for, you know, various reasons, power, you know, respect, you know, selfishness, or, I mean, like what is even behind the greed? That's what I'd be trying to figure out, because like at a certain point, it's like, you know, I know we all greedy, but I feel like once you get to a point where you got multi-millions and you can take care of multiple families, not including yours, what else could you be greedy for?
Just as it's like, I have, you don't have. You know what I'm saying? People go out here and spend $500 on a pair of Jordans or some shoes just to say, I got these Jones and you don't.
Exactly. And that's why I'm like, and that's what I think is funny. Like, see, the thing is though, in the white community, they don't really even value materialistic things.
Nope.
But you could easily say they're the biggest hoarders of money.
Yep. Because that's where that
power. Funny how that
is.
works.
Yeah, that power. They want that power.
Yeah, they're not even concerned about like the cars and the jewels and the clout, as they call it. They just want you to know, like, look, I could buy you. I think it's real interesting, man, because like the hoarding money thing is funny, because I think all student debt, you know, student loan debt could be taken care of. I think a lot of poverty could be taken care of. But they don't, you know, it's all about a controlling thing. You know, we got to control the population in all ways possible.
You should imagine if everybody did what the guy from Morehouse did.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That should start a movement in itself. All the people with money, I mean, I know some people with money do very charitable donations and such, but you know, there is rare you see somebody pay for a whole class's student loan. And you gotta ask that man, like, you know, well, what made you do that? And after a while, you would assume, like, I'm getting so much money, I would want to give back to those who are trying to get to where I'm at. I mean, that's just how I look at it. But we do live in a capitalistic world, so you know, you can't live in America and not. I feel like the ones who get to that point, you got to have that type of mentality.
Yep. Like you said, it's all about the capitalism. You start giving and giving and giving and providing opportunities, you're going to cripple the system that we're in.
Yeah.
So, but I think capitalistic society can still function with people. You know, it's just an ecosystem. It's a revolving wheel. Like, it could work. It's just those people that want to sit at the top. They don't want to sit on the same plane as everybody else. They want to have that position of, oh, I still got, I may not have more money because we're all sharing the same amount of money, but I got something that's more than what you have or better than what you have. Status. So I think we're always going to have that, man.
Speaking of status, though, like, how do you, like, so do you follow the NFL? Do you have like a team? Do you care anything about like how no one really likes the commissioner, all the logistics that go into it?
For me, man, I fell out of love with like professional sports when free agency started taking place. Like once Dallas Cowboys broke up, because that was my squad. You know what I'm saying? Once my boy Emmett bounced around from Dallas to team, I'm like, yo, I grew up watching this. It's like a family.
Right.
And that whole family structure went out the window. And from there, I was like, there's no point in me liking a team or liking a player. Well, I could like a player like LeBron, but there's no point in me investing in a jersey and then tomorrow you ain't even on that team no more. I'm like, that's just dumb. That just messed the whole game up in my eyes. And you got things like a KD on a team he doesn't really need to be on.
No, he doesn't.
However, the way the game is going right now, you know, they do need him, but you know, he came back a little bit too early and kind of messed that up for him. So
I think it's interesting. You know, that like you said, I mean, you can't really invest too much into the brands that these leagues are kind of like making us feel so dedicated to and so like committed to. But I think even furthermore, like, don't you feel like the players should start their own? Like Ice Cube has the big three, right? I think that's a genius business move. I think it stands for a lot. It feels authentic. It makes sense. Don't you think, like, NFL players, like they don't seem to like the commissioner. They don't seem to like all the rules with the, you know, stand in for the national anthem, this, that, and the fourth. Why don't, you know, a lot of these dudes put their money together and start something? Like, I've always wondered that. Now I know that's easier said than done, but I mean, let's talk about it. It's been years and years. Like, there's plenty of ex Hall of Famers. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like the NFL just started 10 years ago. So that's my thing. I don't know. I feel like a league could be started by them, and you know, you can control most of the narratives and most of the politics. But I don't know. You know, I mean, I know that shit's definitely harder to do than just speaking it. But I think if they do that, it sets the tone, and now you take a lot of the attention away from the NFL. You know, like I know Vince McMahon, I know started the XFL. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why don't some of the NFL players partner with him? You don't got to start your own shit, but at least get your hand in the pot.
Yeah. I think like in society, everybody has their strengths, right?
Right.
So if you're an athlete, I think your strength might not be in organization.
True.
I do believe that white people are great at organizing things. I think that Asians are great at duplicating things. I think that black people are great at creating things. But if you don't, you know, utilize all these different ingredients to make one thing that's successful, then it's bound to fall apart. So when you're dealing with an institution like the NFL, who's been around for forever, and you're trying to compete against that, I think money starts to get in the heads of the athletes. Oh man, I ain't gonna get paid as much as I was getting paid in the NFL. But they were dogging you in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? You might have got a check, but your check's not even guaranteed.
They make you think you're getting something.
Yeah.
That's where the psychological twist comes into play.
Yep.
Because they make you feel like, all right, you're valued, or not even make you feel. Honestly, they kind of shit in your face. Like you said, your money not even guaranteed.
But you're farming athletes, so you already know if you don't play, then you already know what's gonna happen. I got 500 other little young dudes right here.
Right. Hungry, ready to go.
Yep. And they keep their foot on your neck.
And that's I was just about to say, that's the ecosystem, because they got to keep us, like I said, product of environment. They got to keep us in poverty and keep us in badass living situations, just because they know we're going to be hungry to play for an NFL team or play for an NBA team or any sport for that matter. So, because they got to keep us hungry, because like, if we're not hungry, we're not going to go out there and bust our ass for that bum ass organization.
Yep.
Go out there, half-ass it, do what we want to do, go home, start putting our minds together and working it. That's also why we get pitted.
Think about the whole Kaepernick. Like, we couldn't even stand in unison with that right there.
A lot of people couldn't. They wouldn't. And see, that's a great point you brought up. A lot of people wasn't willing to jump on that shit.
Yep. And it's a valid shit. The dude said, listen, I'm kneeling for this. I had a ex-military dude told me to do this, but you're still going to justify what this dude's saying just because your owner is telling you, hey, you better not do that.
So, and it's funny you bring that up, because I think one thing that I see as a common trend is people start to support your movement or your brand after they see others do it. And that's one thing I've noticed with, you know, whether it's my brand or just people's brand in general. Like Kaepernick, for example, you got somebody who, if everybody would have jumped on that shit, you know what I mean? It would have been a no-brainer. Like, oh yeah, we rocking with Kaepernick.
Yep.
But because it wasn't enough people on that bandwagon supporting that movement, you got a lot of people weighing the pros and cons of doing it. And a lot of people not willing to risk their paycheck, their consistent paycheck, for a bigger cause. So, you know, and that goes for everything though, like brands in general. Like, you know, you have your own brand, you know, you have your own movement. You know, you probably seen over the years people start supporting it after they see it starting to get love, after you start getting a little bit of traction. But when you first start out, there's very few people who will buy into you because they aren't convinced. And people are very influenced by their peers and just their surroundings. So if everybody's on it, they're like, oh yeah, this must be hot.
Which I use that as an opportunity for me to weed out who's with me, who's not with me. Like, I see people popping up that I went to school with. Like, oh, just because my social media, you see me on social media, or you realize that your boy comes to me for a cut. Now it's like, oh man, I didn't know you cut. Yes, you did. Like
You been new.
right now, you want to come to me just because you don't want to be the 100th dude to say, oh yeah, Chris cussed me too. Like if we want to support, let's support, because at the end of the day, you never know how that person's brand or business or organization can benefit you. I can create an opportunity for you, so you can do what you want to do. You can create your own business and have it all working together. But when your mindset is on, oh man, I can't support him because he's gonna surpass me. And he's not gonna reach back. Come on. Let's stop playing.
People don't got the confidence in themselves, so therefore they don't want to even give you any time of day, because they feel like, you know, like you said, if I give him this attention or this support, you know, he's gonna catapult and blow up, and then where am I gonna be? But see, instead of having a better mindset, a more realistic one, like, all right, well, let's work together. If we let me partner with this person, like I see their movement, I could benefit from it and they could benefit if I add something to the movement itself, instead of thinking like, oh, I gotta get it on my own, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just very selfish, and people always want to take advantage of people who are willing to give. Like, that's another thing. It's like when you're willing to help somebody out, you know, and you willing to help somebody out, they're quick to jump on you and be like, yeah, man, like, honestly, like, I was really hoping that you can help me out with X, Y, and Z. You do that, and then the favor is never returned. And then it was like, well, damn, all I asked you was to support my movement. I only asked you to post some shit about me. I ain't asked you to buy nothing. I ain't asked you to come out and help niggas create ideas. I just asked you to do simple stuff. And you can't get that. And I just think it's so funny, because as soon as everything starts blowing up, you just start seeing, like you said, all the people coming out the woodwork, niggas that knew you was doing shit all along. Oh yeah, like I seen you on your grind. Man.
You ever seen the movie Little Rascals?
Yes.
All right, so it's like how the little boys was running down the hill to the He-Man Woman Haters Club, like running down the hill. That's how it is. You're the He-Man Woman Haters Club. You're the building. They running down the hill. Like, oh man, now this joint's open, man. Let's get up in there and see what we can snatch up and leech. Don't be no daggone leech, man. Add value to whatever you do in life. Add value. Look to add value on anything.
And see, that's why for me, it's funny, because a lot of people don't really look at themselves adding value to situations. They more so look at it like, what can I gain from the situation, you know? And that, to me, I mean, I can't support it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a selfish mindset. You gotta be way more. Like, I think it's just a selfish mindset in general, and it's not even about like trying to get the most money. It's just about people not wanting to help somebody else, because like you said, you afraid to see somebody else surpass you. And like at the Little Rascals, like that's a great ass fucking like analogy, just because it's like people, well, as soon as it gets out, like they squirming to get to where like the light is at, because that's what a lot of people do now. I mean, of course, everybody call it clout, but it's funny. It's just like when someone even feels like you have clout, you don't even have to have it. You just got to create the illusion that you have it, and then it's over from there. Now you got people wanting to be your friend, and how can I assist you, and that's why people be getting like robbed in business, because they don't know business, you know? They got people telling them like, you gotta pay me a percentage of everything you make. At the end of the day, people gotta look at it like, look at it like this. If I'm trying to succeed in life, I cannot do it alone. No one who has a super amount of success has done it by themselves. So my biggest thing is like, stop hating, stop sideline watching. You know, you looking at niggas from the bleachers when you should be down trying to get on the court, trying to figure out how you can better assist the team.
John came back to me. People see the value in you before you see the value in yourself. And sometimes what happens is when they see the value in you, they'll try to block you, trip you up. You know what I'm saying? Sabotage your stuff. You know, because they already know it's something about him. Like, they're looking at you it's something about him. I already knew it was something about him.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go ahead and want to try to get around him so I can either try to take from him or I can try to discourage him, say, yo, I don't think that'll work, man. You should go about doing it this way. Instead of just giving the support. Like once your eyes are open and you can see how people move, I had people that got a whole lot of money, right? Trying to trip me up and try to give me insecurities. But I'm like, why is this person acting like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have millions of dollars. Why is your attention on me?
Yep.
Because you already know.
Because you almost feel like you don't even know how you got millions.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know that the way I present myself, what I possess, you know that could get me to where you're at, and you're like, I can surpass where you're at.
Oh, you already know.
It's not even where you at. It's like I know this person withholds some shit that like if more people knew, if the masses understood it, it'd be over.
That's crazy. It's not even broke. It's the people that already have.
Yeah, that's
a whole bunch.
And that's the hoarding money shit. That's what it is. I mean, a lot of people that hoard money. There's a lot of people that got money who. I mean, if you put them in the same situation as someone who had to like grind and someone who had to take a different alternative route, they wouldn't be where they're at.
Mm-hmm. You wanna know what they lack? They got the money, but you know what they lack? And you know what they're thirsty for and jealous of? It's the vision.
Oh.